What's up, guys? Josh Lau here with the Card Guys, and today we're going to be taking a look at a top 8 game from the recently played Battle Hardened Manila. I got several requests to take a look at this game, so here we are. I don't know anything about the players or what happened in this game. I just got told to watch this game. So we got a Syndra versus Kassai. I believe the Kassai player is seed 2 and the Syndra player is seed 7. This was a very, very, very large battle hardened. And yeah, it's these guys have been playing for quite a while, so they might be a little bit tired. But here we are in the quarterfinals of the battle hardened. So Kassai versus Syndra, traditionally a little bit tricky for Kassai, especially if the Kassai is built a little bit more defensively, because the Syndra player just puts on so much pressure. You don't even get a chance to really develop your copper and gold. However, you do have two really, really important pieces of equipment, which we can see here. We got Kabuto. This shuts down Spreading Flames turns. This shuts down Wrath of Retribution turns. And we also have Valiant Dynamos, which do assist in blocking and preventing the Mask of Momentum from ever triggering in this matchup realistically, unless they have, Ancestral Empowerment, basically. So looks like the Kassai player has opted for the Syndra player to go first, which makes sense. This is a very short and tempo-based matchup. So definitely would like to start second. Art of the Dragon Fire in the pitch zone as well. Looks like we got a Blaze Hedgehog there and some other cards. And yeah, let's just see how this goes. Looks like they also have a timer on the side. Sometimes we have timed rounds. I know traditionally that's very, very uncommon to have timed top 8 rounds, but given the fact that there's been this is basically round 10, the venue might be closing. So all right, Blood Runs Deep, gonna fire off the 2 daggers and and create another chain link. Kassai didn't have a shelter or anything like that, so gonna have to take the damage there. And gonna buy back the daggers and flick another one. Okay, sure. Okay, so 3 damage there and an arsenal. Pretty good start for Syndra. Back to Kassai, we see a Nourishing Emptiness. So this already kind of indicates that this is the slower style of Kassai. Now, there's basically 2 versions of Kassai. We have Draw Sai, and we have like the more defensive mid-range one that's built with like 9 to 12 D reacts and plays a slower game. They try to get value out of the Dynamos, plus cards like Nourishing Emptiness and stuff like that. So, all right, we got Spoils of War. Also, interestingly enough, we had a reading of Spoils of War, and a reading of Centauri Sabers, which is these are not Warrior is a uncommon class to play against, but these are not uncommon cards to play against. So reading everything here, kind of indicating that might be a little bit unfamiliar with this matchup, but I mean, it's not going to really matter much. This is, however, one of the danger cards. So off a random 4-card hand, basically, I would actually like to see Syndra block a little bit here. And looks like Sink Below gonna help do that. And then Hot Streak for 2 on hit makes some copper. And this does not get buffed by the attack actions blocking. So looks like O'Neill is going to take 2 damage, give Kassai 2 copper, which is not insignificant. Also gives a Grains trigger. And gonna pass it back to Syndra. Okay. Rabble Rabble going to reveal another Rabble. Dynamos plus hit and run going to block. Now, I have been told, in general, if you're blocking a 5-card Syndra, you probably shouldn't block the first chain link. But defensive warrior decks sometimes break that rule. Especially if you have a D-React. Looks like he doesn't, so Blaze Hedgehog going to connect. And display loyalty, so going to be 3 go again. Going to make a fealty because he's this is the second Draconic Chain Link. Blue Blade Runner going to block. Flick Knife's going to keep the MOM chain alive. Breaking Point going to threaten the arsenal. So that's going to demand some armor from the Kassai player. And pretty strong turn there. Back to the Kassai. Vigor Token is going to pop. Has 2 cards to work with. And I believe we have a Spoils of War in the arsenal, right? Yeah. Okay, so last turn could have pitched the Spoils of War or the Nourishing Emptiness for the Grains. I think this play is fine. Your opponent letting a Spoils of War through was just gets you a little bit closer to blood on her hands. We did see Kassai block with the blood on her hands on turn 0. So this is kind of an annoying position for Syndra, because this is threatening gold, this is threatening copper. If you don't have a D-React, I mean, you don't have much armor as well, so this is pretty annoying. This block is going to tell us a lot about how this game is going to go. Because if the Kassai player lets, like, this is basically a unsupported naked Spoils of War. Like, there's no attack react in the back. It's just like, it's the equivalent of playing Warrior's Valor and swinging with holding no cards back. Like, it's like full information for your opponent. And if you took the first one, you could block this. I actually do not like. Well, in this case, I think it's fine. Sometimes you send the hot streak first, but yeah, that's not really a relevant point here. But sometimes when you have cards back, you would send the hot streak first, even though you already have go again, which I know kind of sounds weird, but sometimes it happens. All right, so Kassai now has 6 copper and a gold and a vigor, so basically ready to play blood on her hands when she draws it. Now, there's only 2 of them in about 45 cards, so it could be several turns before Kassai sees it. Let's see if this 4-card hand from Syndra was worth keeping around. Looks like Ignite going to start things off. Oh, he only took 1 there, I think. Right? I think he was at 30. Oh, wait, why is it only... Yeah, I think they missed the damage there. Hopefully the judge corrects that. Okay, Blood Spattered Vest triggers, allows for... So the Kunai attacks, Blood Spattered Vest triggers, Rabbitous Rabble reveals Art of the Dragon. Okay. So going to block. Flip dive's going to be thrown, keeping the mask trigger alive. Okay, so they did correct the life there. 28. Or no, they didn't. A little bit difficult because I don't have the audio on, but I will presume that the judges get things correct. All right, Hunt the Hunter. Good follow-up. If you played a red, it marks them. Now, fealty is not like super duper important for Syndra. She'll normally generate it naturally, and she's so aggressive that she just keeps it around. But, you know, having an extra fealty here or there could help, you know, smooth out some turns, like makes buying back daggers if you have like 2 generics easier. All right, lots of blocking happening. Lots and lots and lots of blocking. And I think I saw blood on her hands in the hand. Judge kind of stepping in there, which means, I mean, we do have a judge at the table, which is good. Okay. All right, Vigor token pops, gets a resource. Gonna activate Kassai, banish 2 reds, 2 yellows. I'm gonna pitch a Trot Along to draw a card, which will make all the swords free this turn. Blood on her hands for 6. You might not need to do it for 6. Depending on what you drew. Like if you drew a Unsheathed or something like that, you don't have to give go again to both of them. Also, if your opponent was lower, you could get the hot streak to get go again as well. So, all right, looks like we actually have all the special dice here for everything here. So 2 attacks, and yeah, so yeah, I like this usage of 6 copper, basically putting the buffs on the Centauri Saber. If you're running Hot Streak Centauri Saber, this is how you do it when you have 6. If you're running dual Centauri Sabers, sometimes there's a merit for placing a +1 power on each of the Centauri Sabers. Basically, whether you have like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 copper, what you drew, plus what type of weapons you're using, that all kind of changes how you use blood in her hands. But anyways, this is going to be a very, very strong turn. I still didn't get a glimpse of what Keenan drew. Looks like no D reacts to the hand of O'Neill. At 32 life, you're not in too much peril. But this is like the value town play you can make in Warrior. This is going to be a 2-card. It might be 2-card 20 depending on what's in the hand. So, well, let's just see how this goes. No blocks. 2 damage going to go through. Kassai triggers. Grades of Blood Spill triggers. Gonna attack again with the hot streak. No blocks. Sure. All right. Centauri Saber for 4 or 5. I like how the dice are representing this. This is a good way to do it. So for those of you at home, this is definitely the attack you do not block, because Centauri Sabers remembers that it has been blocked for the whole turn. Only Kassai players and old school Bolton players know that little trivia fact. Take it on the chin. It's fine Arsenal card. Yeah, it's totally fine. Interestingly, okay, so still has one floating, so looks like we're going to spend it on bracers. I kind of would have liked to use it on the Vigor token, because then you'd have 2 Vigor tokens, and then you have a gold, and you have take it on the chin. You could like block your whole hand out. Okay, a good bit of damage there. I believe started at 32, so not quite the 20 damage level that I thought, but or 20 value, but still really, really good, really good turn. All right, looks like we're gonna start things off with Ignite. 5 cards Syndra hand. Yeah, the more I think about back on it, I would have preferred a second Vigor token here, especially with Arsaling. Take it on the chin. Take it on the chin, likely to be used to stop Afflict Knives here, although you do lose a value. Maybe, messing up the mass momentum, maybe messing up a blood spattered vest would be better. Okay, so it looks like throw dagger, take it on the chin. So now O'Neill could respond with flick knives if he wants. Something I think he needs to consider. Looks like he's looking at the judge. Has Keenan played that take it on the chin really fast? Like, was the throw dagger actually even resolved? Looks like they're talking to the judge. I mean, presumably in most worlds, the throw dagger resolves. You play take it on the chin. Oh, sorry, you gotta play take it on the chin in response to throw dagger. Wait, when throw dagger resolves, that's when you take the damage, right? So okay, so you do have to respond to it with take it on the chin. Okay, and in response, he can respond by throwing, but then the throw dagger doesn't have a target. So you'd still have 2 prevention, which is actually very. This scenario doesn't come up very often, but here we are. I believe that's what's about to happen. So just to recap, the kunai is attacking. It was blocked by the dynamos. O'Neill, our Syndra player, put throw dagger on the stack. Keenan, our Kassai player, responded with take it on the chin. And he's throwing the other dagger with flick knives. Okay, so why did he throw the other dagger? Huh, okay. Okay, so blood spattered vest looks like being declined here. Still 2 prevention on the take it on the chin. So now the throw dagger resolves, and there should be no more take it on the chin. And I gotta look up throw dagger really quickly. I don't know the text on that by heart. Target dagger you control that isn't on the active chain link deals 1. So he had to throw dagger the dagger that was in the back. This is very messy. This is very... So he used the throw dagger on the wrong dagger. Okay. Well, anyways, we still have the take it on the chin, preventing 2 right now, it looks like. And... Are the Dragon Blood being met with a Fate Foreseen? Okay. And we got Wrath of Retribution. So this is where you jam your Kabuto. And then the take it on the chin. Now, the way take it on the chin is worded, it just consumes the whole thing. It's not... It prevents a single source. It doesn't prevent the next 2 damage, unfortunately. Okay, so Wrath of Retribution being covered up. Gonna buy back a dagger. Yeah. So that thrown dagger had to have been used on the dagger in the back. So I think that's... yeah, that's something that most people are not going to catch unless they really, really know the wording on that card. Like, I had to look it up. Although, to be fair, I've only I've only played like 3 games of Syndra in my life, so... All right, draw swords into Outland Skirmish, into swing, and this is where we might see Kassai turn the corner. Now that the Vigor token plus the yellow allows you to play draw swords, so sometimes, having 1 Vigor token is fine. Looks like we're going back to the casters. Okay, no, we're going back to the game, all right. So yeah, this turn is going to present 10-ish damage, refresh dynamos. So we're it's hard to say who's ahead right now. I'll just say that the Kassai player has done everything that they need to be in a game that I think slightly favors Syndra as a baseline. They've been able to get a good blood on their hands turn. We've seen good usage of the equipment from Keenan. All right, so looks like a sink below. And I'm going to take 4. Going to make a single copper token, and then we're going to come in with Hot Streak for 2. I presume O'Neill is not blocking this. All right, Dragon Scalar Flight Path being blocked with, kind of indicating that he wants to use it this turn. Keenan will put the last card into Arsenal, pass it over. All right, O'Neill with a 3-card hand that he's filtered slightly. Also has an Arsenal. Gonna need to do some work on this turn to get things back to where they need to be for him. Rising Resentment. Going to be met with another EA Draw Swords. I didn't even know they made Draw Swords in EA. That must be from like the Kassai Blitz deck or something. Okay. 1 Rising Resentment, not good enough. 2 Rising Resentments. Okay, Outland Skirmish, gonna be deployed on blocks. Flick Knives gonna throw this dagger. Keenan takes 1. So the MOM chain is at 1. Rabble. Gonna reveal a cut through. It's pretty nice to know that a cut through is on top. Although there's not many ways you could really play around that. Okay, Shelter from Arsenal, pretty good. Okay, so MOM has been reset. Obviously, you're not getting MOM that easily on just a 4-card hand, though. All right, and then going to use a fealty to play Snatch. Of course, did need to use a fealty there because now he has 3 Draconic Chain Links. And Sink Below going to cover things up. Didn't even need to use the Dynamos that turn. Syndra attacked for 14. Kassai said, I can block for 14. Watch. 1 card in hand. Gorg Tome, the best 1-card hand you could have. Gonna activate Kassai, and this time he's gonna lead with the Hot Streak. Basically saying 2 or 4. Now, right now, obviously not that annoying, but still a great way to generate gold tokens. So far, really good game from both players. All right. Pain in the Backside. Oh, that might have been Pain in the Backside I saw, not Cut Through. The art kind of looks similar. All right, so Pain in the Backside, one of those cards that you basically just have to block. It's like, yeah, you can't let that hit. All right, so Glint on blocking duty. 2 Pain in the Backsides. Okay, that's all you got. So yeah, this is the more defensive Kassai deck. All right, Flip Knife's gonna deal damage there. Okay, so there's the cut through. Okay, so I did see correctly there. Kassai think about making a play. I think that was a Shelter in Arsenal. Just blocking 1. I take 3. And is that the end of the turn for O'Neill? It looks like it is. No Draconic cards played that turn, but he had no fealty, so it doesn't matter. All right, we're going to draw a card with our gold, turning on Kassai. Currently does have the ability to turn on Kassai, I believe. He is a yellow Blade Runner plus a That's All You Got, I think. All right, Sharpened Senses, hit and run. Okay, just using the Sharpened Senses is kind of like an anthem here. Okay, maybe he didn't have a second yellow there, so going to get it into the bin as a non-attack action. Okay, so this is 3 or 4 with Go Again. Sharpened Senses, basically a yellow Outland Skirmish here. Basically, going to give +2 power for a yellow. This game is slowly slipping out of the Syndra player's grasp. See, now when you're forced to block, I feel like you're supposed to block unsupported spoils of war turns like all the time, basically. Even if you're an aggro deck, like they just get too much value if you just let them spoils of war swing. Like it's just too much value. Now we're kind of seeing the consequences of decisions made many turns ago. The speed at which your opponent blocks obviously gives you a lot of information, because now O'Neill's like, I don't really want to block, but I'm at 12. I mean, is this hand good enough? You know, that's probably what's going through his mind right now. Okay, gonna take 3, which will give a gold and a grains trigger. He might forget about his gold here. Let's see. Looks like he did forget about his gold. See, that sometimes happens when your opponent takes too long to block. Okay. As long as he verbalized it, it's okay to do it that way. But if you activate Brave Forge Bracers, you've already missed your window technically. Okay, so this should be for 4/4. Yep. Okay. Does not have go again because Sharpened Senses says that it needs to have greater than twice its base. Not that the go again here would matter, because you don't have resources to pay for Nourishing Emptiness. Kassai doesn't run Twinning Blade or any other shenanigans like that. Keenan doing the left, right, in, out, dual wield warrior life motion. Sink below, gonna cover up some damage. O'Neill's been blocking correctly overall. I mean, other than letting Spoils of War hit early. I mean, basically you only block with things that don't, like, you basically only block with Sink below. So, all right, back to O'Neill. Brand with Cinderclaw. Blocked by Trot-Along. Okay, Fire Tenant Strike twice. Which notably I think is not a Draconic card. Okay, so going to take 3 there. Okay, second one. Fire Tenant Strike first again. So now the last card is going to come in for quite a bit. I think not blocking here and just stopping whatever is the last chain link is fine. Okay, Rising Resentment going to be buffed up twice, so this should be for 5. Okay, all right. Gonna Flick Knives, buy back the daggers. Gonna activate a gold. Does he not have a source to go again? He does. Okay. He looked a little distraught there. Okay. Okay. He can use the hit and run for some extra damage if he wants, or he can hold it for next turn. Okay, so this is 5 or 6. Go again. On hit 2 copper. Cinder really in the blender now. As soon as you start having to block these swords, you basically lose the game. Very similar to like Bolton. Like as soon as you start blocking Bolton after he's charged with like attack action cards, it just gets out of hand. So, probably can escape this turn cycle without blocking if O'Neill wants to. Still has quite a bit of armor he can cash in. And that last card can't kill him. If it's a Blade Flurry, it will force armor, though. If you block this turn, though, it should be on the second. Unless you have... like, if you have a 2 block, you want to use it on the second one. If you have a 3 block, it doesn't really matter which one you block on. But Sindra doesn't have a lot of 3 blocks, so... 2 cards being grabbed. That's a very bad sign here. This is the longest that O'Neill has thought on blocks. Looks like he's going to block for 5. The Hunter blocks for 3, and the other one blocks for 2, I believe. Maybe I'm incorrect there. Okay, Kassai activation with the hit and run that was in hand. Yep. Okay, so 5 go again on hit 2 copper. I don't think you can seed all tempo as Syndra, but you might have to do that here. Basically, if you play small ball, they're going to get dynamo value. You might have to just rely on the Kassai not being able to find a go against source. But then they're going to get to see 6 cards because they have a gold token, so yeah. No go against source. Look at that double Blade Flurry. I think that was in the swing of Slice and Dice, so I think O'Neill's out there was to just block. You're basically denying a dynamo token, a dynamo value as well. This is really bad. Okay, so as Kassai, you just need to block out and... or you need to draw into a 0 cost go again with the gold. And he draws a Nourishing Emptiness. Okay. I mean, you can't send that because it's going to get blocked. Okay, Hot Streak. Going to have to look for some go again. So I would have personally liked just attack with the Hot Streak and then double Blade Flurry. Okay, Keenan is showing way too much emotion here. Like, you gotta be... This guy's not a Dory player. You gotta have a poker face when you play as warriors. Sometimes you draw bricks. You just have to roll with the punches. Showing the camera your cards and going, I mean, it's really... It's very... I mean, it's very obvious because he pitched 2 cards for Hot Streak. Okay, so here you got to play around double Blade Flurry, triple Blade. Like, you haven't... I don't think we've seen a single Blade Flurry. So I think the correct play here is just to block with maybe Mask and... Like, I don't think he has a D-React, so I think he has to block with Mask plus his chess piece, or he just dies. Because if he gives... Because there's obviously Kassai's play Blade Flurry. You haven't seen any Blade... He's probably asking right now, any Blade Flurries here? There's none. There was also no hesitation from Keenan on what to pitch, which is another clue. So I don't think you can play around 3 Blade Flurries, obviously, but you can play around 2. You can play around 2 by block. Don't block with an attack action card. Don't do it. Okay, he has an Ancestral Empowerment. Okay. So he would go to 1 here if there's double Blade Flurry. Keenan, don't touch your cards until he's done blocking. Just set them down, bro. Stop looking at them. Set them down. Go like this, and just look at your opponent. You don't need to look at your cards. Don't put your hand over your mouth either. That looks like you're hiding something. O'Neill knows this is very dangerous. There's not many 4-card hands that you could draw without Go Again that don't have Blade Flurry in them, considering that your opponent has not seen a Blade Flurry on like turn 10. All right. Take him to 1 and move on with your life. All right. Double Blade Flurry. I'm going to go to 1. All right. Watch there be a Blade Flurry on the top here. Nope. Okay. That Unsheathed is pretty good. Looks like he drew a Shelter from the Storm as well, which is nice. All right, your opponent pitching to swing their dagger, always a good time. I don't know if you need to use your armor on this one, because he has a blue. It's not like he's trying to get Blood Spattered Vest. I guess you do also prevent the MOM. Maybe. I kind of would have liked to just discard the Shelter on the first kunai. Depends how many breakpoints Syndra has, I guess. All right, Keenan. This is now the easy part. It's going to take 3. Okay, Fealty's going to be popped. Art of the Dragon Blood. A block for 4. Flick Knife's going to take him down to 5. Still has Shelter in hand. Let's see if that 1 life that they didn't record when he was at 32 comes into play here. It could. Because these players have not been using a written life pad. So, all right, Lava Burst gonna be Chainlink 4 because Kunai was Chainlink 1. Okay, sure. This is also on hit draw, which is why I said I don't like blocking with bracers that early. Because you weren't denying the blood spattered vest because he pitched a blue. So why are we blocking with bracers on the first link? All right, so he has an unsheath, a shelter, and I believe that is a hit and run. Not sure of the color. This on hit draw here is devastating. You also have to think, why did we block 4 on the third chain link, which was MOM second chain link? I don't want to be too rough on him. I mean, it's been a long day, obviously there, but this is not how you block, and having to block for 7. Last turn, drawing 4 sources of no go again. I mean, that is unfortunate. And gonna get one more damage there. Gonna have to drop down to. Was he at 4? Okay, looks like. Okay. Okay. So he was at 5. He took 1 down to 4. Okay. All right. So Keenan looks a little disappointed. 2 turns ago, he drew a very bad hand. This turn, he just blocked improperly. And now you can tell he's a very emotional player. On tilt, looks a little bit on the younger side as well. Emotional regulation in general improves as you get older. Really needs to steady himself if he wants to get out of this and win this. Now, okay, we're going to risk it for the biscuit. Going to draw a card with hit and run. I didn't quite see what it was. It's probably not a go against source. However, you can still attack with the hot streak. Now, very likely he just blocks with the Mask of Momentum. It doesn't give you any value there. Oh, he's a Nourishing Emptiness in the arsenal. Now, if you throw that, and there's a chance Syndra doesn't have a 3 block. Slice and dice in hand. All right, so I think you just have it. Okay, even if he doesn't have the 3 block, he can still cover it up because he has 4 armor. I think you have. Oh man, this is such a tough position. That slice and dice is not a blue either. You don't even have the option of like breaking a copper here. Actually, it's possible. Sometimes you run blue slice and dice. If that's a blue slice and dice, he has the option of breaking a copper, which is not a line you normally take, but sure. Why? If you need to find a go against source, you need to find a go against source. It's just that simple. And this is something that can happen when you play a little bit more defensive as Kassai is. Sometimes you draw a little bit clunky hands. That's why when you're an aggro deck and you get behind against more defensive warrior decks, sometimes you just block, seed tempo, and say, hey, I don't think you could convert your whole hand. Which is what happened 2 turns ago. So all right. This play took too long to execute. O'Neill knows the Arsenal card is not a go against source. Now, do you play around the Blade Flurry? No, there was no situation where you would have died to that. So here you just put 3 armor in front of it and go play your 4-card hand. I'm wondering why this VOD was so requested. And I have a feeling it's going to come up in the next couple of minutes. All right. O'Neill should be able to put 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 together and figure out the correct block here. However, he's been playing for a long time. So this is like round 10. Doesn't seem like he's super familiar with what Kassai does. However, Keenan has been giving him a lot of information that, frankly, I think more disciplined players would not have given. Even if you don't have it, sometimes you have to act like you have it. O'Neill is seeing phantoms right now. He's concerned about what everything could be. Reading run through. If it was run through in Arsenal, that would have been played the other turn, I believe. Maybe not, because he had resource constraints. But yeah. O'Neill came to the correct block. Good job. And Keenan's in trouble now. He can win with a Nourishing Emptiness, though. So let's keep an eye out for that. Nourishing Emptiness might actually win the game here. Can he get out of this turn with a card? Uh-oh. I think he played a card that didn't have go again. or I'm not exactly sure. Because he took it back. What just happened? That's hot on their heels, I believe. Okay, it's going to start with Ronin Renegade, sure. Yeah, hot on the heels needs to be the second chain link. Oh, that's Fire Tenant, my bad. This one's hot on their heels. Okay, all right. All right. Lots of pressure. Can he keep a card? Which card you block with, I don't think really matters. All right, Keenan's marked now. Pain in the backside. Oh boy, gonna demand another card. Does he flick here? I think he only has... Oh, Fire Tenant, I believe, is... No, Fire Tenant is not Draconic. So he only has 2 Draconic Chain Links right now. So if he flicked, he wouldn't be able to buy back his dagger. All right. Kassai's in trouble now. I don't think... Well, basically just needs to fire off this Nourishing Emptiness. And O'Neill needs to strip every card. For like 2 or 3 turns, then Flick Knives will get there eventually. All right, Yellow Brand. Not a card you see every day. 1 go again. This might be a situation where you have to take 1 damage and hope that the hand can't convert. Basically, you have to hope that you can meet the 3 cards in O'Neill's hand with 3 cards of your own. Use your life to absorb the kunai plus Flick Knives. And then send the Nourishing when you're at 1. Which it means that 1 point of life from 10 turns ago is actually going to make a difference. So this is why we got to use life pads, not just an app. All right, Ronin Renegade. So this can be blocked for 3. And uh-oh. This goes to 4. Draw a card from Ancestral. And good game there. Oh boy. Oh boy. Really, really good game. All right, really, really close game there. I think the Kassai got a little bit unlucky there at the very, very end of the game. But overall, pretty good game. Illustrative on how to play to your outs, says Syndra. So, yep. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that VOD review. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Take care.
Hey man, did you get the KO deck for Worlds? No one's doing that, okay? Like,
Turn to play whole horse now. Don't get greedy. You're doing it too. Alright. Put him in the middle for now. I like it. That's perfect. Alright, next year.
RTN champion. Yeah, we're gonna order a couple more.
Thanks for watching the video.
Here's some more Card Guys videos you might enjoy.